Angela Davis is a clear example of an activist who, to this day, is fighting selflessly for our people. If you offer help to the community, but there is a price attached, you are not an activist. If you exploit trends and hashtags or crisis to gain followers or brand deals, you are not an activist. To all the pretenders out there, I'm putting you on notice. Word will get out about you because I will spread it. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble today. I don't care.
Come on, give the power to the people. Give the power to the people. Yeah, yeah. Give the power to the people. Give the power to the people. Yeah, yeah.
By any means necessary.
Welcome back to the Black Revolutionary Collective podcast, where we talk all things Black liberation. I'm your host, Melody Angel, and today is a good day. Today we're going deep into the story of a woman who stood toe-to-toe with the most powerful law enforcement agency in the country and won. Today we'll break down how Angela Davis beat the FBI, not just legally, but ideologically. We'll explore the courage, the clarity, the commitment it took to stand in the crosshairs of power and still speak the truth. Then we'll shift the lens to present day, using Angela Davis as our anchor. We're going to talk about the difference between real and performative activism. Yeah, we're getting into it. In the Black community specifically, and why the difference matters more than ever in a time of social media noise and corporate co-opting of our fight for Black liberation. So stay with me, because it is vital that we reclaim our narrative and get all these pretenders out of our revolution. Because we have to understand that activism is about service, fighting for the people, risking potentially your freedom, your livelihood, or your life. It's not about using the struggle for monetary gain or celebrity, brand building, using old organizations and the legacy of its leaders from the civil rights movement for example, as your backdrop and collect money from the people, even though you've done absolutely nothing of consequence for the Black community as a whole in decades. You ain't supposed to say that out loud. No more living off the names of those who gave their life for the cause, for your own gains. I'm going to upset some people today, because a couple of food drives, a couple of clothing drives, or someone giving scholarship money out here and there is a drop in the bucket. We're supposed to be building institutions. Instead, you're out here putting on extravagant galas and raising money that never seems to make it to the community. By the way, the only people that should be offended by what I'm saying right now are the fake activists. Yeah, I'm calling you out because there are some real activists out here, and I've met them and I'm working with them. And all y'all pretenders are doing is getting in our way while we're trying to do the real work in the community, and it stops now. I'm sick of it. So this is the era of calling out all pretenders. So we're going to get back to the real thing. Let's get back to Angela Davis. And maybe by the end of this true story I'm about to tell you, you'll get a clearer picture of what an activist really looks like. So you can stop being fooled by these charlatans. And more importantly, maybe you'll discover that there's an activist spirit in you. And you'll choose to join me in the fight to liberate our people by any means necessary. Now, Angela Davis once said, being radical means to get to the root of the thing. So let's get to the root of this thing called activism. On August 18, 1970, Angela Davis became the third woman ever placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives list. Angela Davis, a brilliant and outspoken philosophy professor from UCLA at the time, and a prominent black activist with ties to the Communist Party and the Black Panther Party. She finds herself a target of the government's intense surveillance and suppression of radical voices. Her activism, particularly her advocacy for the Soledad brothers, 3 black inmates falsely accused of murdering a prison guard, has made her a marked woman in the eyes of the FBI and the then California governor, Ronald Reagan. Now, Davis had gained national notoriety in 1969 when she was fired from her position as a lecturer in the philosophy department at UCLA because of her political activism and declared affiliation with the Communist Party. Because how dare you think that maybe you could live outside of capitalism? Oh my God. Just because somebody may see an alternative to capitalism doesn't mean that they're an enemy of the state. That is insane. If you didn't think like them, if you didn't follow their directives, they were out to take your life. Davis then sued and won and got her job back, and then later left when her contract expired in 1970. That same year, Davis became involved in a campaign to liberate the so-called Soledad brothers, 3 prisoners accused of murder, like I said, of a prison guard at California State Prison. The killing had occurred 3 days after another guard shot and killed 3 black prisoners during a riot. At a press conference in which Angela announced the formation of the Soledad Brothers Defense Committee, Davis said the charges against the 3 were the latest in a long series of repressive and genocidal measures taken by the prisons in the state. A member of her committee was Jonathan Jackson, the blood brother of one of the 3 men. Now, on August 7th, 1970, a dramatic and tragic event unfolds at the Marion County Civic Center. Jonathan Jackson, 17-year-old brother of one of the Soledad brothers, bursts into the courtroom armed, attempting to take hostages in a desperate bid to free his brother. In the ensuing chaos and shootout with law enforcement, a judge and 3 of the abductors, including Jonathan Jackson, were killed. Even though Angela Davis was not present at the courthouse, the guns used in the incident were legally registered in her name. Why? Because she had purchased them for self-defense after facing numerous threats to her life due to her activism. Davis said that she had received multiple threats following her discharge from UCLA, that she purchased guns that were used by a number of people who acted as her security, and that included Jackson. He had been a part of her security detail, and that's how he got access to the weapons that she purchased. Now, despite having no direct involvement in the events, the authorities were eager to silence Davis, right? She's such a powerful voice in the community at the time. They issued a warrant for her arrest, charging her with aggravated kidnapping and murder, even though she wasn't there and had nothing to do with it, and there was no evidence that said she did. 2 weeks after the assault, on August 14th, a judge issued a warrant for Davis's arrest, and an intense police search began. 4 days later, on August 18th, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover listed her on the agency's 10 most wanted fugitive list. That's how quick this happened. Then Davis went underground and fled California. Why? Because they were out here killing black activists left and right, and she didn't want to be next. I would have ran too. In a 1974 autobiography, Davis describes how she changed her appearance, hid in friends' homes, and moved around at night. On October 13th, FBI agents found Davis wearing a wig at a Howard Johnson Motor Lodge in New York City, and they arrested her. She was unarmed and offered no resistance. Photographs of her handcuffed made the national newspaper, right? It's front page news around the world. President Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick, congratulated the FBI on its capture of, and I quote, the dangerous terrorist, Angela Davis. The hypocrisy of Tricky Dick saying this is completely, the audacity of these fools, right? Anyway, now the infamous Wanted by the FBI poster featured two stark black and white photographs of Davis with her signature afro, right? It starts circulating wide, right? And the stark lettering warns that she is wanted for interstate flight, murder, kidnapping, and cautions the public that she is armed and dangerous. Now, this image was intended to demonize and isolate her. However, ironically becomes a powerful symbol for the oppressed worldwide. Her arrest ignites a Free Angela Davis movement. Millions around the world recognize the injustice of her persecution, viewing her as a political prisoner, which she was, targeted for her radical beliefs in activism, which they did. Prominent figures, artists, and everyday people rallied to her defense, demanding her release. After spending 16 months in jail, enduring the harsh realities of the prison system she so vehemently opposed, Angela Davis finally faces trial in 1972. The prosecution's case is largely circumstantial, relying on the fact that the weapons were registered to her and alleging a romantic relationship that did not exist with one of the deceased abductors as motive. Ooh-wee. However, the defense meticulously dismantles the prosecution's arguments, which was easy to do because she didn't do anything, highlighting the lack of direct evidence linking Davis to the crime and exposing the politically motivated nature of the charges. On June 4th, 1972, after 13 hours of deliberation, an all-white jury delivered a stunning verdict. Not guilty on all counts. The courtroom erupts in cheers and tears of relief. Angela Davis walks free, a symbol of the resilience of the human spirit against injustice and the power of collective action. Her ordeal, born from false accusations and a government eager to silence dissent, instead amplified her voice and solidified her lifelong commitment to the fight for liberation and justice for Black people. They wanted to criminalize her. They wanted her to look like a frightening character, right? It stands to this day for Black power because she won. She used their rules, their laws against them and won. Angela Davis dedicated her life to these issues. She's still fighting for the people, for prison reform, racial justice, and dismantling the prison industrial complex. To this day, she understood firsthand the devastating impact of incarceration, particularly the marginalized communities. Immediately after her acquittal back then, Davis helped found the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. This organization aimed to build on the momentum of her defense campaign, advocating for political prisoners and fighting against systemic racism within the legal system. She traveled extensively, speaking at rallies, universities, and community events, sharing her story and tirelessly advocating for change. Angela Davis is a clear example of an activist who, to this day, is fighting selflessly for our people, not for popularity or monetary gain, but for the betterment of her community that she has never stopped believing in or educating. To all the pretenders out there, I'm putting you on notice. Word will get out about you because I will spread it. Ain't no snitches getting stitches over here, because it is disrespectful to all of our black leaders that came before us, that put their lives on the line for us. Now, as we work through getting rid of all these pretenders, we have to know them when we see them. So I'm going to help you out. I put together a list of my top ways that you can find out if you're dealing with a fake activist or a fake organization or the real thing. In the age of social media, the pretenders are everywhere because the struggle has been monetized. Number one, they prioritize visibility over impact. You'll notice that their social media feed is dominated by professional photos of themselves, often meticulously curated and styled, rather than images or, shall I say, information directly related to the causes, to the victims, or any educational content at all. In contrast, a real activist, a genuine activist content will prioritize the issues, sharing resources, news, and calls to action, with their personal presence being secondary to the messages, to the education. Yeah. Number two, they monetize tragedy. They launch crowdfunding campaigns, or they sell merchandise and accept speaking engagements related to a cause, but lack clear transparency on how the funds are being used or where the money goes to support the actual community or its efforts. There's no transparency. Red flag. In contrast, authentic activists who are fundraising are typically very transparent about their finances, showing exactly where all the donations go, providing reports and their impact in the community. They've established oversight within their organization because they want to be transparent. If you offer help to the community, but there is a price attached, you are not an activist. If you exploit trends and hashtags or crisis to gain followers or brand deals, you are not an activist. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. Okay. Number three, they avoid accountability. They block or attack marginalized voices who critique their methods, aka the ones who call them out. They delete comments calling out the misinformation or hypocrisy of it all. They rarely, if ever, apologize sincerely for mistakes or harm caused. When something goes wrong, it's never their fault. Number four, they lack depth of knowledge. This is very important. They share simplified or often inaccurate or emotionally charged information about complex issues without offering any evidence or deeper analysis, often just repeating popular sound bites. In contrast, real activists invest time and understanding in historical context, systemic roots, and nuanced details of the issues they champion. They cite actual, credible sources and encourage critical thinking. Yeah. Number five, centering themselves in the narrative of oppression. They frequently discuss their own experiences of burnout or emotional labor in a way that overshadows the actual suffering or experience of the marginalized groups that they claim to represent. They use activism as a platform to elevate their personal brand. They consistently speak over the people instead of listening to the people that are most affected by these issues they say are so important to them. In contrast, a genuine activist understands that their role is to amplify the voices of those directly oppressed, not to become the primary subject of the narrative. They spend more time listening than talking. If you want to help somebody, then you can't assume you know exactly how to help them. If you want to help somebody, you sit them down and you listen to what they need. You listen to what they're going through. You're not just waiting to talk. You're listening, taking notes, and responding with empathy and facts, solutions. Instead of just ranting about what's wrong, you are there to help them to find a solution, not a soundbite. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble today. I don't care. Number 6, they vanish when the trend ends. Gotta love it, right? Their activism primarily exists only online. They do nothing locally. No organizing efforts in person. Nothing in person. It's all online. That way they don't actually have to do anything in the community, right? But we know that true activism, real activism is in person. An activist knows that true change only happens at the grassroots level through sustained community engagement, building relationships, and direct action. That is the daily grind of a real activist. Being in the community, working in the community, with the community. Okay, now we're at number 7. This is my last one, I promise. Okay, it's my personal favorite red flag, by the way. It's the I'm too important to talk to you, fake activists. Yeah, you can never get in touch with this activist, right? You can't call them, you can't email them, you can't get to them at an event. You could be at the same event and their security will stop you from talking to them because they're just too important for you to talk to. But they're supposed to be an activist. No, ma'am. Because see, back in the day, if you had a problem and wanted to talk to Angela Davis, Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, Stokely Carmichael, Elaine Brown, Fannie Lou Hamer, or Malcolm X, or Martin Luther King, you could do that no matter who you were, right? They made themselves available to the people because they were working for the people, period, the end. If you're really about this life in the community and you say you speak for the people and you work for the people, then the people should be able to contact you. We got serious work to do, and the last thing we need is our own people out here trying to scam us. Pay attention. Do your research before you join or donate to any black organization, any organization, including the BRC. We're all supposed to be in this together, working as a collective. That's why I added the word collective to our name. Black because we're black. Revolutionary because we need to have revolutionary thinking as we collectively work together to build our own institutions. That's what this is about. That's what it should be about for everybody involved in community organizing or activism, whatever you want to call it. Have respect for the people who came before you, who put their lives on the line for our people. They tried to put a needle in Angela Davis's arm for something she did not do, for something they knew she didn't do, because she had the audacity to stand up for black people, to educate black people and show them who they really are and give them their power back and tell them that there's a better, brighter future for them if we unite and work together. How dare she tell you the truth? They tried to wipe her out. So yeah, I take offense to anyone who steps up talking about they an activist and they put absolutely nothing on the line and they've done absolutely nothing selflessly for their people. We ain't got time for that. There's no time for that. They're taking food out of schools. They're shutting down health care for us. Housing is at an all-time high. People can't pay their rent. People can't find a place to live. People living out of their cars. People can't find jobs. We ain't got no time no more. We need to be focused. We need real encouragement, real education, real strategies, plans of action, and people willing to show up to implement the strategies. We want to do a food program to stand in the gaps and feed our children ourselves. But we need volunteers for that. Who gonna help me make the sandwiches? Right? Who gonna help me put the fruit in the bag and pass them out to the kids? Who gonna help me pick up the food? We got black farmers that want to donate food. We got food pantries and black-owned grocery stores that want to donate food. Who gonna help me go pick it up? This is what we need. The ones that's gonna show up. If you're willing to show up, then you are an activist. If you're willing to stand in the gaps for your people and be the resource, whatever resource they need, whether that is food or health care or education, job training, mentorship, financial literacy, whatever it is, if you're willing to step up for your people, then you are an activist. You don't need to be a leader of a movement. You don't need to be a leader of an organization to help your people. You just need a willingness to see the value of black unity, to see the value of community building for all of us, not just for yourself. For the generations coming up, we got to stop letting them divide us and let's start focusing on our unity, period. That's it. Now, since today's episode featured Angela Davis, I'm going to share with you 3 of my favorite books written by Miss Davis. You know, I got to give you some books. I'm always going to give you the books. Number 1, Angela Davis, an autobiography, published in 1974. Now, this book was written while she was imprisoned and awaiting trial and published shortly after her acquittal. This autobiography provides a direct and personal account of Davis's early life and her political awakening and her involvement with the Communist Party and the Black Panther Party, and all the events leading to her infamous arrest and trial. The book is outstanding. It's one of my favorites. Don't pass it up. Read it all the way through and let me know in the comment section what you thought about it after you read it or if you have read it. All right. Number 2, Are Prisons Obsolete? Published in 2003. Now, in this concise yet powerful book, Davis challenges the widely accepted notion of prisons as a necessary component of justice. She argues for the abolition of the prison system, contending that in an inherently racist and classist institution that fails to address the root causes of crime, instead perpetuates cycles of poverty and violence. Davis traces the historical development of the prison industrial complex and offers a vision of a future society that prioritizes restorative justice, community-based solutions, and systemic change over incarceration. This is a book that is a key text in the contemporary prison abolition movement. So if you want to learn more about that, this is the perfect book to kind of give you the idea of it all. Number 3, Freedom is a Constant Struggle. Ferguson, Palestine, and the Foundations of a Movement. This book came out in 2016. This book is a collection of essays, interviews, and speeches that connects various global and historical struggles for liberation, emphasizing the enduring relevance of solidarity and resistance. Davis draws parallels between the Black liberation movement in the United States, the Palestinian struggle for self-determination, and other global fights against oppression. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this episode. New episodes will be posted every Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and the notification bell and all of those things, right? Subscribe, all of that, right? And if you want to listen to this episode, we're also on Spotify and iTunes. If you want to learn more about the Black Revolutionary Collective, then you can check out the link in the description below to our website, blackrevolutionarycollective.com. And as always, I love you, Black man. I love you, Black woman. Knowledge is power. Power to the people.
Give the power to the people. Give the power to the people. Yeah, yeah.
By any means necessary.